Okay, so dear Dharma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body and keep your back straight, neck head straight in one line and your right palm on your left. So gently close your eyes and bring your attention to this bell sound. And while you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind, and relax your breathing with your thoughts. Do nothing extra. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened One. Okay, so dear Dhamma practitioners, before we start our practice session, let's take few minutes to understand how to develop our spiritual journey. Because the foundation is very important when you develop your journey, especially when you with the practice meditation. So nowadays meditation has many meanings and there are many kind of meditation techniques. So it is important for you to have a very clear understanding and idea what you mean by meditation and what you want out of the meditation. So according to that, what you need to practice can change. So somehow according to the Buddha's teaching, so this meditation related to deeper understanding, that's mean recognizing the reality, things clearly understanding as it is the very first step. And then the next step is developing our wisdom and deeply getting to the truth or the reality and see fundamentally what is the cause and effect for this all. For that you have, by the time you have to develop very logical, critical, analytical understanding. So that understanding is not developed by thoughts, but developed by observing and recognizing. So there are many ways that you can develop your mind. So one way, the very popular way, which we bring the knowledge, it's a very popular around the world and it has a long history. And mostly by thinking or following others' thoughts, you can develop your mind. Another way to develop your mind is observing and recognizing. So somehow when it comes to the spiritual path, one of the major important thing that you have to develop is the trust. So according to the very fundamental qualities of the spiritual path, or the foundation. The very key point, you have to have the faith, conviction, or the trust. So that is the first. But the thing is, this trust always need to be balanced with the wisdom. So the most of time, we misunderstand this word, the trust. Because very famous, very popular word for this, we use believe. So the believing and the trust, even though the both words stand together, when it comes to trust, it has a more deeper meaning than believing. So the trust always come out of deeper understanding and experience. But believing can happen out of many reasons. As example, you can believe something because of the fear. You can believe something because of just you like it. So the most of time in the society, even when it comes to our human connections, rather than that the trust, most of time we believe each other. But to develop the trust, you have to have certain qualities in you. So today we are going to talk about that little bit. So when you have the trust, out of the trust, what happened? So the believing system can take you to many things, but when you trust, it's going to take you to clarity. So that is where this help for us to practice meditation. Because ultimately, through the meditation also, we're going to go to the clarity. Once you have the clarity within your perception, within your experience, that is where the wisdom arises. So out of the tranquility meditation and out of the vipassana meditation, we try to develop the clarity. So if you don't have the clarity, there is no wisdom. So that's why, so then the trust is the very base of the clarity. But most of time, even though we practice all the spiritual things in the world nowadays, whatever the religion that you practice, more than the trust, you may believe that things. So one of the things that if you want to have the trust, if you want to have the clarity, if you want to gain the clarity, there are certain things you have to purify in your mind. You have to get out of the mind. So today we are going to talk about that. Once you get out of those things, there are going to be a clarity. Even that we practice meditation and we reading the sutras, or we learning many other things, but still when it comes to that our day-to-day life, most of time we depend on dualistic mind. It's kind of like we always depend on, especially when you start to practice the spiritual path. Once you start to go in this spiritual path, you always measure things with the good and bad or the right and wrong. And it's kind of like the bad character with the good character. So like that, always the world depending on comparing. So very first thing that you should do, get out of this comparison. If you really want the clarity, because if you have the comparison mind, what will happen? It's going to take you to anger. That is the bottom line. As you know, fundamentally, we are depending on three poisons: greed, hatred, and the delusion. So this greed, the greed is the one who providing most of time to divide things. So basically, even though sometimes you start to practice meditation and chanting and some other spiritual things, and then suddenly what happened to your mind, you start to see good and bad more clearly. And sometimes, most of time, when you see bad things, you get mad about it. You have very unpleasant mind about it. Look at the world. Always the world is trying to make something good against something bad. So these divisions create the journey in this samsara, or the world itself means having these divisions with the comparison. But if you look for the clarity, the very first thing, you have to get out of this comparison. That is where that, as example, emptiness, even though scientifically proved, even though that spiritually, we know many things regarding this emptiness, impermanence. Still, we heard it, we repeat it, but when it comes to the right situations, we're not going to accept it. We still keep fighting. So if you really, just imagine, if you really know that's everything empty, basically materially, forget about the five aggregates, even in the material world, in this basic outside world, if everything is empty, if everything change, how you can stand for something good or believing something bad? Of course, conventionally, we need that. But still, when it comes to clarity, the good and bad not going to help for you. That division, that comparison always take you to anger. The anger create the darkness. So when the darkness is there, clarity disappears. So that's how it affect for you. So if everything change, just imagine, if everything change, how you stand believing, how you fight, how you try to fix something, believing this should be good. For how long? So that's why don't try to fight with the world. You can't. So there were two friends, mosquito and a spider. They were with little boys, young boys used to play together. So then by the time they used to grow, and then the mosquito became the leader in that group, and the spider became the leader in their group. And now what happens? The mosquitoes start to claim and start to go against the spiders because their webs disturb them. kill the mosquitoes. And all the mosquitoes, baby mosquitoes, young mosquitoes, thinking about their future generations, and there's they're thinking about their safety, their sustainability, and they came against to fight with them, the spiders. It's kind of like and ready to go for a war, and came to the spider leader and told, hey, we have to stop this because this is a very dangerous for us, especially this young little baby mosquitoes. They all die because these spiders everywhere making webs. And then this mosquito leader told, let me talk to spider leader because I know him for a while. We used to grow together. I know him. Maybe I can talk with him and come to a solution. And then one day he went to the the spider and told, oh, my friend, I want to talk about something. Can you tell your spiders not to make webs everywhere? Because these baby mosquitoes die, and most of time they get disturbed. They can't fly anywhere. And the spider told, hey, my friend, how I can do that? Because we are spiders. At night, it's a part of our life. When our body cool down, it naturally weaving the web. It's a part of our living. So it is better to teach your mosquito babies how to behave themselves without just going here and there, just to be careful. Because otherwise, how I can change the behavior of the spiders to protect your baby mosquitoes? So the same thing with us also. And sometimes especially when it comes to spiritual path, we think, oh, we can change the world. Oh, we can make it a more better world. And then by the time what happened, naturally, we start to go against the bad. So if you try to go against the bad, you start to resist the bad. What happened by the time? See that if everything empty, if everything impermanent, if everything selfless, deeply, how you can fix something? Think about it. So that is where the very first thing, if you want to find the clarity, don't try to go to argue with the outside world. First thing, the very first thing you have to get out of your mind, the comparison. To having this dualistic mind. Even when it comes to all the movies, all the Hollywood movies, Bollywood movies, that everything depend on the bad person and with the good person. The most of the songs, it's everything like that. So that's why when it comes to meditation, when you start to practice meditation, the very first thing, when you settle down, slowly you start to get out of this comparison or the dualistic mind. So that will help you to get out of the anger. So the most of time people try to do many things not to get angry, but still they hold it to comparison. So if anybody get out of the comparison or the dualistic mind, remember that person's anger disappear. So it takes time, and at the same time, it needs some wisdom. So see, that's where the clarity, so your trust, faith, conviction, it's come with the wisdom. That is where it polish, brush up your trust and with the clarity. So the clarity going to become more sharp once you have this understanding. So then when it comes to the Dharma, when you really practice something, you really stand for that rather than going with the worldly nature. Another thing is to get out of the doubt. So deeply the doubt inherent within us. Even though we know about all this Dharma, the doubt is more powerful than we think. Still the doubt push you to keep looking many things. Even sometimes what we practice, and it not allow us to get clear with the practice when you have too much doubt. Even just for a moment. Once you know something, and dropping that knowing, and you go into something else. So you don't have the clear confidence to stand for what you know and brush up it, clear it, rather than keep going. So the doubt is one thing, push us to go towards many knowledge, and by the time it take us to collect the knowledge. So that's why other thing is get out of doubt. Look into yourself and see. So the next one is the fear. So the fear has a long history. So when it comes to our body, as a muscle memory, we hold related to something in this world, but when it comes to our deeper consciousness, it has a long history related to samsara. So this fear of letting go or releasing, being open or change, we always hold, keep. We make the fear stronger than the clarity. Once the fear becomes stronger, it holds you to repeat things. It not allow you to go beyond that what you know. That is where you go around the same circle of behavior. So that's why when it comes to practice meditation, even if you close 5 minutes your eyes, sit down without moving your body, can you let go everything and not to protect your fear, not to encourage your fear, not to respond to your fear, but to trust the path you work, the path you practice. Try it. Then you will see how much fear. 5 minutes, you're not going to die. We assume you're not going to die in next 5 minutes. But how about when you close your eyes, can you let go that whatever belonged to you and settle down in that 5 minutes? Your children, husband, wife, friends, family members, all the wealth that you have, all the plans that you have, can you get out of that all? Be completely empty inside. Don't worry, it's going to be there. When you open your eyes, it's going to be there. But when you close that 5 minutes, can you completely get out of that all? And try. Maybe one day you're not going to open your eyes. But that day, if you can close your eyes with that emptiness, that's going to be the end of this all. But you need to practice, because this fear is so strong. When situations come, when there are moments come, this unknown fear suddenly disturb to our mind. So if you not practice well, if you just think, oh, I can do, it's not going to work. That's why practicing will help you to get out of the fear. Another one is the tolerance, being patient. Can you be like that? And so why you so hurry? And as you know yourself, by the time in your life, there are a lot of things that start to change. You know that. But still you understood it when you get old, when you pass that time. You didn't understand it while you having that. But even though you know that, when you go into apply to our outside world, you try to push everybody to change. Believing you can do that. You can't do it. They also need to go through that sometimes. If they have the will to change, then you can help. Otherwise, don't try to struggle with others. Don't try to invest your energy on others. Little by little, put into you and develop the clarity in you. So by the time, it will create a bridge for others to follow you. Otherwise, if you don't have that clarity, it's not going to work for outside world. So that is where most of time we fail. So then remember, in this spiritual path, the most important thing is faith. We call it trust, conviction, and you can name it as believing also, but believing not that much strong. But the trust come out of the clarity, and that is where the faith bring the wisdom path. Because to have the clarity, you have to have some kind of wisdom. So this both interconnected. So the first thing is get out of the dualistic mind, comparison. Another one is to get out of the doubt. The next one is get out of the fear. And the next one is get out of the being hurry inside, and learn to practice tolerance, being patient. So that is where you start to spiritually grow. So that is very necessary. So think about it. While you practice, even when you come to meditation, little by little, let that qualities to grow in you. Bring these all qualities as tools, apply to your practice. And in day-to-day life, that whatever situation come, use these techniques and allow your mind to grow. Another thing is, out of having open mind, another way we call Shrutame Jnana. So that's mean learning, practicing, reading, listening to others, and searching. This all help us to develop this trust, clarity, gain our this quality inside us. Another thing is developing thinking mind, this logical mind. So whatever we learn, and you have to reflect on it. And the bhavana jnana, third one is deeply. You have to see how it come to be as it is. So that way, once you have that clarity, it's going to become stronger than the sun or the moon. It has power to eliminate all the darkness which we call the ignorance. So that is where your liberation going to happen. So with that, let's get into practice a little bit now. So your right palm on your left and neck head straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. So bring your attention to your body and scan head to toes yourself and say Supatveva, or may I be well and happy 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable, may my breath be more smooth, may no difficulties come to me, may no problems come to me. Also think for a moment, this is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime, and detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalation and exhalation. So in the beginning, deeply and gently, breathe in, breathe out 3 times and find the sensation, please. And allow your inhalation, exhalations happen itself. When it happens, just recognize it. Let everything to settle down as it is. And be aware about the sensation. Do nothing extra. Bring your attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also, as far as you can, through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this. With clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe, and may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart. Forward. Visualize yourself and send it as a light. Your backside. Your left side. And to your right side. Downward and upward. To all six directions at once. Like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest, wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So first of all, we offer this practice to the great qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. Also, by the power of this meritorious deed, may all of us attain to the supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all your guardian angels and deities will receive these merits and increase their longevity and protect all of you from any kind of planetary influences or any ill effects. Ittavata chammi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Sabbe bhutanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya imaya dhammanudhamma patipattiya buddhang pujemi dhammang pujemi sanghang pujemi Addaya imaya patipattiya jati jara vyadi maranam paribunjissami Idamme punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless you.